dragging you down. I get up, breathe the air right now. Roll, baby, through the waves. When the crew sing better days. Crashing through the waves again. Start riding on the back of the wind. Leaves and people change when they fall. Anxious world lives fast and small. Easy tempo wins the race. Come short and you get out pain. I see walls up ahead. I sink a ship and you wind up dead. Beyond the shady grove, my baby waits and the fireflies glow. Sail fly, sail fly, sail Caught in this twilight lace, senses hindered so many ways. Moving on your own again. When you're lost, you found my friend. Not in the space we roll, and the evil starts taking toll. Dark clouds float around, but your light throws the darkness down. Sail fly, sail Sweat trips off your skin, and pressure comes sweeping in. You're lost in familiar place, ghosts and banshees in your face. Undress thoughts taking hold.
What's up, Jags fans? We are here. Listen. The Jags may not be playing well, but we're still here, right? Let's not overreact. Now, this may sound like a broken record because I may have said the same thing last week on the post-game film breakdown show. So I got some work cut out. we have some work cut out for us because we have to somehow convince ourselves that we're okay. I think I've actually boiled down our main issue to a root cause. And I know there's like plenty of blame to go around. I get all that. But I think I've boiled it down to like something correctable, kind of. Okay? I'm going to get to that in a second. We got all the film from the Browns game. And I know like nobody watched the Bengals film breakdown. I get it. You guys don't want to watch bad football. I'm with you. I'm just such a big Jags fan. I cannot help it. I love doing this. I love talking Jags. So we will watch some film. It's kind of hurting my soul to break down the film. Like it hurts a little bit. Like I think I'm finding more solace in like showing it and then just talking about the Jags. So I'm not going to break down the X's and O's as much in these losses because it kind of hurts. But I do want to show some plays that I think are important to see and some things to look at and maybe even correctable. Before we get to that, this is a fan show. I want to get your comments. The comments are already popping off pretty hot here, which is great. Give me your comments on what you think the Jags need to do to right the ship, if we can right the ship. If you're here, you haven't given up on the team yet, so that's great. But let's get your feedback. Say whatever you want. I don't care. Like, talk about anything you want. It doesn't matter. At this point, we're kind of sound like a broken record talking about the same things over and over again. That's fine. That's fine. So put anything you want in the chat. Like, I don't care at all. This show is driven by fans. I'm a fan. You guys are fans. It is what it is. Make sure to follow the social media stuff, the Twitter, the Instagram. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, notification bell. We do shows Tuesday and Friday nights. And in the off season, we do some weird stuff. We do like random shows. I had a random couple months in the summer where I talked about like politics, and I didn't have any angle, like not a left or a right angle. I legitimately just talked about politics, and we did that for a couple months. So when I say random, completely random. I also have a Twitch channel in the video description where we hang out on Twitch and we play games and we talk Jags. We're random around here, but that's what's great about being independent media is you can do whatever you want. So get in the chat. We're going to get into the film here in a second. I got some PFF loaded up. I don't know if I want to show that yet. It's going to be a game time decision, much like Trevor, and we're going to see how that goes. We always shout out the first person in the chat. First person in the chat was DJM, who DJM has been watching these shows for years. So shout out to DJM. Like, I love it. I love it. The DJ has been here for a long ass time. So I appreciate that, DJM. Daniel Blazing Burrell, who has a Vikings picture in his YouTube thumbnail, just spammed some, I don't know what those are called, but some things, and that's fine. I'm glad he's here. B. Holly says, let's go. Volkfang's the first channel member in the chat. Volkfang says, what's up? That dude Evan says, it's time for a let off some steam stream. So here's what we do. This is your first time watching or you've forgotten. Here's what we do. When we watch this film, we break it down like we are coaches in the film room. Okay, so we're going to be hard on some of these guys. And again, this is no indictment on their character. This is no indictment of them as an athlete. The fact that they've made it to the NFL is amazing, and it's a milestone, and it's very rare that athletes are that good to do that. So all of these guys we're going to see, although we're going to look at some things they can correct, are amazing athletes. So let's not lose track of that. But we can do this because I guarantee you the coaches in their position coaches meetings and their film sessions are saying all the same things. So it's okay. We're not going to attack anybody's character. We're just going to look at what we can do to be better and maybe some things we need to work on. I always like to say that because by no means do I think I'm a better athlete than any of these people that we're watching. But yes, we are going to let off some steam on this stream. Jarrett Williams says, yo, Volkfang says, I was busy and didn't watch the game and I've avoided Twitter and recaps. I'm going into this film breakdown completely blind, aside from the score. Bold strategy, Volkfang. Bold strategy. You're not gonna be happy. Although I will say this, I know I talk people that like watch these shows for the film breakdown already know just to fast forward until the film shows up. I know people do that already. I'm fine with that. But I will say this. Okay, I will say this. I've been saying this a lot. Every team is dealing with injuries. So, yes, we're dealing with injuries. Every team is dealing with injuries. I mean, we've seen major quarterbacks go down just this week. CJ Stroud. I mean, people are getting hurt left and right. That's the NFL. It's a next man up league. Additionally, it's easy to point to the last 2 Jags losses and saying we lost to backup quarterbacks. But both backup quarterbacks played amazing. Played absolutely amazing. Now, I know the defense wasn't great, but like their accuracy, Joe Flacco, his accuracy was insane. There's a play on here where he throws a timing route to Amari Cooper, where Amari Cooper is like 4 seconds from turning around. Like, that's a throw that like a good quarterback makes. So although Flacco isn't labeled as a good quarterback because he came off the couch, he played really well. So you have to kind of give the quarterback some credit. You have to give the offensive coordinators and the head coaches of the Bengals and the Browns credit. They had good game plans, and the quarterbacks executed. And that's the NFL. We watched the Titans beat the Dolphins last night. Okay? So that's the way the NFL goes. That's the way the NFL goes. Let's not freak out. Let's not freak out. Jarrett Williams says, the Knowles got screwed, and the Jags handed me 2 L's on my birthday week. I know. I got buddies that are big Knowles fans. They're not having a good month. They did get screwed. I'm not a Knowles fan. They got screwed. It's a team game. It's a team freaking game. Not to mention that like 15 of the starters on FSU's team are like 5th and 6th year seniors. So I think those guys could handle their own without a quarterback. That's just my opinion. Corey T, channel member who's here, and Corey T is a special channel member because Corey T is the reason why you see all of this stuff. Corey T is the benefactor of the channel, and he is the reason why the stream looks good, the reason why the stream sounds good, and quite frankly, the reason why this stream is even happening. So shout out to Corey T, biggest celebrity in the chat, I'm telling you right now. DJM says, same old Jags. I'm really backed up on comments, so give me a second here. I'll try to catch up. Charlie Boy says, we are still in a good position. Let's not lose our cool, guys. I like that, Charlie Boy. Mark Moon says, we put 27 on the best defense even while crapping our pants. The sky isn't falling. I love it. 2 positive comments back to back. And there's a good reason why. Because Mark Moon and Charlie Boy are here all the time. And they're fellow positive Jags. Like, there's a lot of negativity in the Jags sphere or realm. And that's okay. I'm not bashing it. It's your team. Yeah, it's your we spend our hard-earned money and, more importantly, our hard-earned time, our hard-earned free time on this team. So if you're upset with them, by all means, be upset. Some of us just have a little bit more positive perspectives, for better or for worse. And so it doesn't surprise me that Mark Moon and Charlie Boy are with me on the sky's not falling. It's not. It's the NFL. Sea Breacher says, fire everybody. Sea Breacher's a channel member. I always appreciate Sea Breacher. Sea Breacher, I gotta tell you, I can't remember the name of the game that I've been playing lately, but you gotta check it out. William says, I was hesitating joining because I'm not sure if I want to see how bad we did. That's fair. Raw Jeep says, not the time to freak out. We better see a team show up with some desperation on Sunday night. All right, I'm gonna get to Shay's comment. And then I'm gonna get to the film. Channel member Shay, celebrity commenter as well, says, Jason, why didn't Balky try to trade for any DNs, but refuses to sign any of the street free agents out there on the other contenders are signing? That's a very good question. And I don't know the answer to that. I wish I could get into the mind of Balky. I wasn't as hard on Balky as everyone else when it came down to the clown mutiny. I wasn't as hard on him as that. But in the spirit of honesty, I haven't really liked Balky too much since he's been here. And I don't talk too bad about him because his job's hard, and he's done some good. But I will just say I haven't really liked much of what he's done. It has nothing to do with these last 2 games. If the Jags went on to have a great season this year, I'd still feel the same way about Balky because I just look at like his drafting isn't great. His free agent acquisitions are questionable, and most suspect when he restructures some of these contracts. It's just not. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't have restructured Rayshon Jenkins. I wouldn't have restructured Brandon Sheriff. I also wouldn't have signed Evan Ingram. I thought we could have gotten a tight end and Trevor could have worked well with another tight end. And I'm dead wrong about that. Evan Ingram's our best player, especially with Kirk out. Evan Ingram is absolutely amazing. I love it. Evan Ingram has now become one of my favorite Jaguars of all time. So we're right sometimes, we're wrong sometimes. All right, let's get to some film here. And I'll get back to some of these comments. Keep the comments coming. I'm sorry that if I didn't hit it. Type it again if I miss it. I promise you there's no shame here. Okay, so here's kind of like my thesis on the problem here. And I've talked about this a lot. The Jags just lack. We'll turn the chat on here. The Jags just lack energy. Like they don't have that energy on the field. I say this like every show. It seems like the team is just out there on business trips every week. Like they're all strict professionals, no emotion, no excitement. Although I watch the Bengals and the Browns dancing all over the field after a play. I see them, their sidelines like jumping up and down, hyping each other up. So it's hard for me to say that that doesn't positively affect your team when I see teams win do that. Okay, so here we're going to kind of see what I'm talking about. And again, this has nothing to do with the game. Nothing to do with X's and O's. This is just strictly what I'm talking about with energy. Okay, so this is just a random play here. Okay, an inside run here. And I know we can't run the ball. Obviously, we didn't run the ball here. But what's ironic is in the first half, we actually had success running the ball. In the first half, we ran the ball pretty effectively. And then in the second half, we just absolutely could not run the ball at all. I don't know what adjustments were made on the defensive side for Cleveland. But we went from like ripping off 3 to 5 yards of carry in the first half to not even being able to get a yard in the second half. Okay, but here is what I like, and I wish I could see more from the Jags. Okay, watch Greg Newsome right here after the play. He had nothing to do with the play. He had nothing to do with the play at all. Okay, watch Greg Newsome right here. He's going to straight just gritty. Like, I know, that's stupid. That's not professional, and that has nothing to do with the football. But it's that kind of energy that you don't see our guys dance around the field. You don't see us pre-snap getting the crowd hyped up. You might get a hand here and there from Josh Allen, but like we miss that energy. And I think that energy leads to intensity, and I think that intensity leads to physicality, and we're just getting destroyed in the trenches due to physicality. And I know there's injuries. I get that. But our interior D-line is non-existent. Our interior O-line, and the whole O-line for that matter, can't run block. So we lack energy, which leads to intensity, which leads to physicality. And I know all those words end with Y. I didn't plan that. But like someone said it in the comments, like Cam Robinson brought that. How many plays have I shown of Cam Robinson flexing on dudes when he pancakes them? How many plays did I show of him like getting his players hyped up? I know Cam Robinson has his struggles. But we don't have anybody that gritties down the field. When's the last time you saw a Jaguar player gritty? I know. I'm too old to be talking about the gritty. I get that. But you guys see my point? Am I taking crazy pills here? Like, you got to have some energy. You got to have some intensity. You got to have some physicality. It's just upsetting to me that this team is the most stoic team of all time. Is that a reflection of the head coach? Maybe. But still. And you want your quarterback to be stoic. I love the way that Trevor handles himself. Someone talked about it in the comments too. After seeing Patrick Mahomes look like a baby, I don't want that. I want a stoic quarterback. But I want my DBs and my DNs and my tackles to be full of life. Because football is a mental and a physical game. Here's what else pissed me off. Where the hell did Legatron come from? You're going to tell me that all of a sudden when this dude plays the Jags, he punched the ball 80 freaking yards? When this play happened, I was like, I'm clipping that. When this happened live, I was like, I'm absolutely clipping this play. He's in his own end zone. He catches it on the 24. Are you kidding me? Like, Logan Cook's good. But, dude, this dude is a freaking Legatron, bro. I don't want to hear about the dude that does suspect things at parties when it comes to Legatron. Absolutely unreal when it comes to this. Okay, I know those plays aren't really, I know. For those that love the film, I know those plays don't really matter. Here's what plays do matter. Okay? Here's what plays do matter right here. And I just for a little inside information here for you guys. Like, if you show too many plays from the sideline, this is the side view right here. then YouTube flags it for copyright infringement. It's not a big deal. I'm not going to get in trouble. I just can't monetize the show. I don't make that much money anyway, so it doesn't really matter. A lot of these clips are going to be from the sideline because it's that important. It's that important to show like where the coverage breakdowns happen. And you can't really see that from the end zone a lot of times. So we're not monetizing this show. That's fine with me. That's completely fine with me. I talked about it in the Bengals game. One of the reasons why we lost to the Bengals, it was because our linebackers did a terrible job of what's called reading their keys. Okay. Now, if you're unfamiliar, reading your keys means when you're a defensive player, you have like one or two or maybe one area of the field that you read at the snap that tells you what your job is. Okay, so we call it reading your keys. Everyone's keys are different. Some people don't have keys. If you're just a wild edge rusher, it doesn't matter. If you're an edge runner or an edge contained player right here, you have to make sure that the play's not coming to you because you got to get out to the sideline to set the edge. If you're a linebacker, you have to make sure that the person you're responsible for covering in pass coverage doesn't release on a route. Because the second you see a tight end release on a route, your job is no longer stopping the run. Your job is now covering that tight end. And in the Bengals game, we were absolutely terrible at it. We saw the play action, we came screaming downhill, and we let the tight ends, slot receivers, running backs release uncovered. It's what we call a coverage bust. And what's funny is the Jags defense, for as bad as they're playing, aren't playing bad down to down. They're just blowing coverages. And when you blow a coverage, that makes the whole defense look bad. It makes the total yards look bad, the points look bad, the yards per play look bad on one blown coverage. Devin Lloyd's job right here is to read David Njoku. Now, he has to kind of do it out of the side of his helmet because they do teach linebackers to read this little triangle cone right here because if you see a pulling guard or you see a cross block, then you know the run's going this way. You want to start flowing that way. But you have to know if your man responsibility in pass releases on a route. This is football 101. This is basic football. Middle school football players know this. And again, I'm not comparing Devin Lloyd to a middle school football player at all, okay? And to be completely honest with you, because I'm not in the huddle and I'm not in the coaches meeting, I'm not even 100% sure that Devin Lloyd is the guy responsible for David Njoku. But I am 99.9% sure because the way they're aligned and the way that he is pre-snap, he probably is, okay? So at the snap, Njoku just releases. Devin Lloyd just completely ignores his key. And he's wide open. That's a coverage bust. That's not a lack of talent. It's not a lack of physicality. That's not a bad play call. That's not Trent Baalke. That's not Doug Peterson. That's not the refs. That's Devin Lloyd just not doing a basic job. A basic job right there. Okay, happens once, whatever. You know, we all make mistakes. Not a big deal. Not a problem. All right, David Njoku again. Okay, David Njoku again on a play action. Now, again, this time I'm not really sure whose responsibility it is. I'm guessing based on when I watch the sideline view, it looks like they walk Rayshon Jenkins down, so they're in probably a cover one, which just basically means you have one high safety and you're a man all the way across. 100 miles per hour he's been a member. He's just renewing his membership. Thank you, 100 miles per hour, for renewing your membership. I appreciate it. Channel members, you make this channel go around. I can monetize channel members, so I do appreciate that. So thank you, 100 miles per hour. Great commenter. I'm sure he's had a bunch of comments that I've missed already. I'll try to get to him. David Njoku. So I get it. The Bengals are in ace formation. They have one tight end, one bag. We'll call this ace 11, right? So, I mean, okay, I get it. It could be a run. I'm pretty sure Aluakon's job was here. I'm pretty sure it was Devin Lloyd. Aluakon ends up being the closest one here. But again, watch at the snap. Njoku, he releases right away. Touchdown. I mean, I know Cisco made a bad tackle there and whatever. Njoku's a big guy. Here's where I'm a little confused, and this is why I don't really know whose responsibility it is, because Devin Lloyd does point saying you have a crosser coming. So there's potentially it was a zone coverage here and Aluakon kind of got washed down. I don't know. It seems like Aluakon thought that Lloyd was in man, and it seemed like Lloyd thought Aluakon was in zone. Fundamental problem again. Not good. Not good. So again, I mean, this has nothing to do with like the personnel. This has nothing to do with the play call. It's just, we're not there. We're playing bad right now. We're playing bad. All right, I'm really backed up on the comments here. I'm sorry. I'm going to hit a couple. Get back to the film. Again, I say this every week. If I missed your comment and it's a good one and you think it's a good one, I did not read your comment because I thought it was bad. I didn't not read it, which is a double negative, because I missed it. So just copy paste it, hit it again. It doesn't matter. All right. Brandon McKenzie says bench Ridley. I don't know if that's the solution. I think Ridley's getting a bad rap. He's not worth what we thought he was going to be worth at the beginning of the season, but I don't know if you'll have to pay him what we thought we did at the beginning of the season. Like, if you could bring him back on a cheaper deal than Christian Kirk, would you do it? You may be thinking like, oh, there's no way. Well, if you can, would you? Because I would. Because I think Ridley's a good receiver. Yeah, he has his drops and he ran the wrong route. I get it. But he is 2 years removed from football. I know we're late into the season, but you're not going to find a receiver out there much better than Calvin Ridley. I'm sorry, you're not. And I know Parker Washington stepped up. I get it. But still, like, you can never have too many weapons when you have a guy like Trevor and you want to maximize his window. So I guess to me, it comes down to what's the dollar amount you can bring Ridley back for. If you can bring him back for less than Christian Kirk, I say do it. I mean, he's 29, but he's still one of the fastest route runners in the league. Him and Trevor have had many games where they've just been in sync. So I'm a little hesitant. Luckily, we still have some games to see. Okay, so we don't have to make a decision right now. But I'm not so quick with you on there, Brandon. C Breacher also talks about Ridley. Miss Duval says, excited to be here for live for the first time. Miss Duval, I'm glad you're here. Thank you. I appreciate that. Maniac Slap says, yes, sir. Made it this week. What up, Maniac? Timmy Devil, who likes to, I don't want to call him a pessimist, but he does kind of bring us back to reality sometimes. So I do enjoy Timmy Devil's comments. He says, I'm done with football for the rest of the season. Timmy, we're in first place still. We're still in first place in the AFC South. He says, back-to-back bad disappointments like rough disappointments. I said at the beginning of the show, the Bengals and the Browns quarterbacks were both playing outstanding football. And I know, I get it, they're backups. But they're playing outstanding. They did. 100 miles per hour says we were all wrong about Antonio Johnson in the slot. He does have the speed to keep up with wide receivers. He had Cooper on lockdown for the last two drives. And he had the forced fumble, which is coming up here very soon in the clips. I'm going to blame these two losses on karma, says Volkfang. It's the only thing that makes sense. Defense was playing way too far above expectations, so the universe has to pay it back. DJM says he's another Jags podcast OG subscriber. Been here for years because the content is top tier. DJM, I know. Yeah. Before Jags United, there was a podcast with four idiots. And that group of four idiots became a group of one idiot. And that's where Jags United came from. Shout out to Corey T. Tommy, if it makes you feel better, says Maniac Slap, both of those teams are contenders with good quarterback play. Unfortunately for us, they got it. LOL. Sucks, but don't give up faith yet. Our young guys on D didn't look half bad. I like it. I got to scroll down. 100 miles per hour joined the Matt Jones level. Oh, dang, 100 miles per hour. Thank you. Doug preaches not too high, not too low. Act like you've been there before. Okay, so maybe I'm wrong there with the energy theory. Maybe. Anthony Jones says you are dead on. They look lethargic after every play. Timmy says constantly re-signing nobodies. Gotsis, Fatukasi, Blackburn, which Blackburn was playing well until they rushed Hamilton back. Roy Robertson Harris, Lacey, Chazon. It's a bad smoot on Achilles. All right. Let's just put in one good play here. And I know Parker Washington has a touchdown, and that play's coming. But what I like about Parker Washington even more is, like, is there a chance he's taking the role of, like, Jamal Agnew before our eyes because Jamal Agnew's not cheap. So, yes, Jamal Agnew is a good kick returner, and nothing bad about him. There's Legatron again, just punting the crap out of the ball. I mean, I'm starting to like Parker Washington a little bit. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm starting to kind of come around. We talked about last week. You can't expect him to play good in back-to-back weeks, but you hope he does. And then he played well again. I don't know. All right, so here's a big issue. Here's a big issue. These guys right here got to step it up. They just got to step it up. Maybe they're not the guys. Okay? I can't put too much blame on Blake Hance. In fact, considering Blake Hance went up against Myles Garrett, I thought he did pretty well. If you're a Browns fan, and I were to tell you that the Jaguars' fourth string left tackle is going to be blocking Myles Garrett every play, you would have thought that Myles Garrett was going to have 150 sacks this game. I would too. Blake Hance did a pretty good job. Only a few times did Myles Garrett really wreak any havoc in the backfield. But these three right here, man, Sheriff's getting paid way too much money to get blown up. Luke Fortner has now gotten to the point where he's got to be replaced next year. He has to. He is just a straight liability. You want to bring him in as a backup center? That's fine with me. But as a starter, he's got to be replaced. I don't know if it's the draft, free agency. He's got to be replaced. And again, great athlete, a great player, probably a great guy. But when it comes to helping this team win a Super Bowl in the window that we have now, you got to replace this guy. You have to. Shatley, we can't be too hard on Shatley. He is what he is. Watch Fortner right here. Just watch the whole interior of the O-line on this run play. I mean, this is sickening. This is absolutely sickening. I mean, no chance. The team has no chance of being successful if this is the kind of blocking we're going to do. I mean, you don't even slow the guy down. And it looks like he accelerates a bit when he makes contact. I mean, that's just not good enough. It's not good enough. Now, is there a chance that he recovers and that he finds his stride in the NFL? Potentially, but it's not right now. As a starter for this team, it's just not. And again, no hard feelings. But if we had a healthy left guard, I think Shatley has to be the answer at center. And if we get Ezra Cleveland back, and if we get Walker Little back, like Doug Peterson alluded to, you got to replace him. And and this is the first time I've said that. I've hinted toward it. I didn't want to make the decision. I didn't want to say it. I was hinting toward it. I talked about how Shatley has the experience at center. I talked about some other things. But after the Bengals and the Browns game, I'm saying it. He's got to be replaced. Love the guy. Got to be replaced. As of right now, who on this team is getting another contract besides Trevor, Josh, Cisco, and Tyson? Like I said, it depends. Depends on what you can bring them back for, right? Like, you can't bring Ridley back at wide receiver 1 money, but if you can bring him back at wide receiver 2 money, I say you bring Ridley back. Gosh, man, I think you bring Devin Lloyd back. He hasn't been good, but he's young and athletic. I think he can get over the mental mistakes. Great point. Luke Farrell. I think Luke Farrell's been good. Again, what can you bring him back at? I don't know. Interior O-lines from Volkfang has been a consistent weakness. Too much investment for such little return. And Volkfang brings up a good point. We can't really bash the Jags front office for not investing in the O-line. Let's go down the O-line. Cam Robinson, high draft pick, signed to a big term deal. Traded for Ezra Cleveland. Luke Fortner, 3rd round pick. Paid big money for Brandon Sheriff. Took a 1st round pick on Anton Harrison. They have invested in the offensive line. Now, whether they picked the wrong guys or they've just been injured, I don't know. But they've tried. It just hasn't panned out. Here's one of Trevor's picks. Which one is this? I mean, one of the three. I don't know. Yeah, this play, I mean, they talked about this on the broadcast. I mean, it looks like Zay Jones ran the wrong route. I mean, was Trevor expecting more of a skinny post than he was an actual post? It kind of looks like it. But Evan Ingram, I mean, they're not even synced. You're supposed to wait till Evan Ingram gets across the formation to snap the ball. And Trevor snaps it before he even gets across the formation. Like, who knows what Evan Ingram's route was here? He could have been supposed to motion across and then drag back across this way. He could have been motion across and then hit the flat. He could have been motion across and then block. Either one of those would have helped this play more than snapping the ball before he gets there. Looks like he's blocking. Helps on Myles Garrett. Just not a good throw there, man. Not a good throw. Travon Walker's had a rough couple weeks. And it's not even his like pass rush moves, although they haven't been great. It's he's not tackling. Like, he's just having an inability to tackle. And like you were drafted on your freakish athleticism. You can't miss tackles like this. I know the chat's in the way, but I'm not moving it. I don't care. We suck. Okay, take a look here. Travon Walker lined up, walks into the 7. Okay, you got to make that tackle, dude. And then he gets back to the line of scrimmage, but like, this should be a TFL for like -5. That's a totally different down and distance situation on the next play, man. Like, and I clipped this one play, but he had 2 other missed tackles. He had a sack where he had his hand on Flacco. Dude, you are Travon Walker, #1 overall pick, freakish athlete that can play different positions. And if you get your hands on Joe Flacco, you can't tackle 38-year-old Joe Flacco? That's my frustration. It's the execution of these players. They're in position. They're just not making plays. Here's another touchdown. This one's to David Bell. Okay, we've already had 2 coverage busts. All right, and this one was a backbreaker right here. But again, I know Darius Williams might have slipped, but to be completely honest with you, it wasn't. He was out of position even before he slipped. They're going to motion into a trips right bunch. Okay, so trips just meaning 3, obviously. 1, 2, 3. Now, give you a little background here. So defenses play trips bunches differently. All right. So how the Jags are going to play this here is we're going to get a jam on Njoku. So we're going to jam the front guy, which is very common. Okay, they're going to jam the front guy. Then some defenses play first guy in. Rayshon Jenkins plays. First guy out. The corner plays. Okay, Darius Williams. A lot of defenses play that way. Some defenses play, they just man up. Regardless of where they go, they're going to man up on them. It looks like they were in man. Unfortunately for this formation, in this situation, they're going to drag both guys to the middle of the field. The Jags bring pressure. They blitz, it looks like almost 7. And so now here we are. And it looks like to me that both DBs, Jenkins and Williams, are both going for the same player. Okay, now maybe Joe Flacco's doing a good job of using his eyes to look at this drag right here. But he's out of position when Flacco makes the throw. Darius Williams is out of position. Like, go back to right when he falls. Okay? Even if Darius, like, somebody is doing something wrong here. Another miscommunication. Another breakdown in the defensive coverage. This is now 3 defensive breakdowns that goes for a massive gain and a touchdown. If you take out these 3 plays, which again are mistakes between the ears, not mistakes on the field, well, they are on the field, but not like physical ability, take out those 3 plays and this defense has a rock star game. And I know that's not fair to do, but like he slips. Darius Williams slips because he's out of position and realizes it. So they definitely thought they were doing something that they weren't doing. Not on the same page. Catches the ball, easy touchdown. And that's David Bell. I mean, David Njoku, I could at least be like, all right, well, he's at least a top echelon tight end. Are you gonna let David Bell do this to you? Again, this is just bad football. It's just bad football right here. All right, let's see here. When Cleveland went down, Blake Hance was thinking about grabbing his hammy. That's good. Damn, that Fortner play was terrible. I wonder if teams watch Luke Fortner film and laugh. Hey, we told you Fortner was not very good. You did, Nick. Channel member Nick Ludwig. You did. Listen, I give players and coaches the benefit of the doubt as long as I possibly can. I've reached a breaking point with him. Do you like Doug's offensive philosophy? I do. Do I like other coaches more? Yes, but that's just preference. I don't think there's anything wrong with Doug's offensive philosophy. I just think the players aren't executing. We could have used the Muma pick on Ventrell pick with anything else with the O-line. Yeah, that Ventrell Miller pick and the Chet, and we destroyed both of those picks when they happened, to be fair. Like, I get taking best player available, but when you have 7 linebackers already, do you really need Chad Muma? Cam and Harrison have been a chef's kiss. The interior is bad. The dude Cleveland picked in the 4th last year has been one of the best tackles this year. Jarrett Williams says, our inability to run on 3rd and 1 is disgusting. We can't look other teams in the eye and go right at them. Yeah, we're just soft. Did we pick the wrong guys in the draft at O-line, or do we have poor O-line coaching? I think it's the wrong guys. I don't think Fortner was a good pick. I don't think Sheriff was good, and he had his injuries, but he's playing bad right now. Walker Little is looking like he's okay. He just lacks that like physicality that you kind of want in a guy like Cam Robinson. He's just very kind of, again, I hate using the word soft because these guys could all beat my ass, but like they're just soft when you compare them to the defensive lineman they're going up against. David Bell runs a 4.78, by the way. We are getting no push. It's the players. Jenkins has fell off the face of the earth. Wouldn't be mad to see AJ in the next week, dude. I wanted to see Dewey Wingard more. Like, I think Dewey Wingard is a better player right now than Rayshon Jenkins. All right, where's the play right here? No, this is Antonio Johnson. We'll play it out just because it's it's applicable for this point. Great blitz. You got lucky that Flacco was looking to the left. That's fine. Great blitz, great speed, good hit, forces the fumble, comes off the edge. Trey Herndon was doing this for a bit. Antonio Johnson did this at Texas A&M. We saw him do a lot of this blitzing off the edge. Great job. Great job. And look, they double team, they chip, they put a running back on Josh Allen. This is the little stuff that doesn't come up on the stat line, okay? But because they designated 2 players to Josh Allen, that allowed Antonio Johnson to run free. So this is one of those things you got to talk about that like doesn't show up on this. That's not even Josh Allen, is it? No, it's not. It's Jeremiah Ledbetter. Hey, sometimes you have to double team Jeremiah Ledbetter, sometimes. Great job by Antonio Johnson. Where is the fumble that Dewey Wingard causes? Oh, right here. All right. Your boy Dewey's in the game. As a little walk down safety. Let's go. Look at that. Look at that. Not giving up on the play. Yeah, Monteric Brown misses the tackle. My boy Dewey's not giving up on the play. Listen, I would rather see Dewey Wingard in the game right now than Rayshon Jenkins. I really would. And to be honest with you guys, those of you that have watched this show for over a year, you guys know me. I was not big on Rayshon Jenkins last year. But he had that stretch where he had the Cowboys interception. He played well at the end of the season. So I kind of changed my tone a little bit. I was like, you know what? Rayshon Jenkins. Okay, maybe he just had a little lull, and now he's playing well. But now it's starting to look like that he wasn't in a lull and playing well, but now it's looking like that playing well window was an outlier. Listen, I know it's crazy. Dewey Wingard, man, I'm telling you, every time he's in the game, things seem to happen. And what's it going to hurt? What's it going to hurt at this point? Jake Browning dropped 500 and retired Flacco, I'm done, baby. Freed myself. Timmy, me and you both know you're not doing that. I'll see you here next week, okay? 100 miles per hour says, what play is better? Power gap in 3 and 1 or slot fade 3rd and 1? I mean, with this team, I think the slot fade just because we can't run block. But in theory, running the power from gun, should be better or under center. I see your point. I see your point. Both plays are not ideal on 3rd and 1, right? You ideally have a quarterback sneak or a lead with a fullback or a tight end. I get that. But this team's just not built for that right now, man. Our biggest issue is the trenches. Now, whether it's injury or lack of ability, like we get no push on the D-line, interior D-line specifically, and the O-line. So the coaches are kind of handicapped on what they can call. You can't call an inside zone if you're all inside zone blockers can't block. You can't get pressure with 4 if your 4 don't get pressure. So, I mean, like, the coaches are in a bad spot here. So I can't blame the coaches. I can't. You ever played Madden and you know you have a terrible team? You have to be like weird and crazy because the things that normally work don't work because your team's bad. I'm not comparing real life to Madden, but you get my point. Channel member RM Skip, what up RM? Says, let's get the likes up. Even though the team is down, my favorite channel up and going. Thank you, RM Skip. Hit the thumbs up button. That doesn't take much. I mean, maybe it comes up on your feed that people that check your YouTube likes, but how many people are doing that? Look at my YouTube channels that I follow. I mean, it's random. It's like Rust YouTubers, Jocko Willenick. It's random stuff. Random stuff. C. Breacher says, I know everyone hates the Hutchinson versus Walker conversation, but Hutchinson was obvious pick at the time. Yeah. Yep, no debating that. Maniac Slap says, Dewey still misses a lot of tackles even in spare time. Okay. And that's fair, Maniac. And again, the coaches see them every day. I'm only evaluating the game tape. I don't see the practice tape. So there's probably some validity to that statement. I'm with you, but it can't be in the midst. It can't be worse than it is now. The defense is just, like I said, I don't know, man. The big plays, the coverage busts, like that's what's killing our defense. The down-to-down situations, they're not that bad. It's the coverage busts. It's the not reading your keys. It's the not tackling. Why did he hit Flacco like it was Kareem Hunt on the goal line? Shay says Antonio Johnson might be better than Rayshawn already, but Dewey has the fire when he plays. Timmy Devil says 8-7. Here we come. Timmy, I will bet you $1,000 we don't end 8-7. Dewey does seem to make shit happen, though, says Maniac Slap. Last week, making Buster Brown inactive over Greg Jr. looks terrible, too, because Greg Jr. is butt. Greg Jr.'s bad, man. He's bad. It was a bad pick. Bad pick at the time. You're gonna go scout Wachita Baptist and you pick a guy who didn't play a single NFL player, not even a single player invited to the combine, and be like, yeah, he's gonna be good. And then not only are you going to do that, you're going to draft him a round earlier than you did Monteric Brown. Those are the kind of things that makes me really question Trent Baalke. That's horrible scouting. That's horrible decision making. At no point would anyone in their right mind ever do that. I'm sorry. In our case, Trevor recklessly over the top. Yeah, over that question about which is better. Cam Boyser says, late, but I'll rewatch. Did we talk about Clavon yet? You know, we surprisingly have moved on from Clavon, and I'm glad. And I'm glad that that hasn't been a theme anymore. That was fun for a bit, but God, I am glad that, I mean, go be free, Clavon, somewhere else. Go be free. That's Baalke's traits. Pass up a good player and then draft a player that plays at like Austin College because he's 6'4". Shay says a Panthers fan made a list of his wish list for their roster next year, and Clavon Chazon was at the end. That's the thing, man. Same thing with Luke Fortner. Not saying they're bad athletes or bad players, but they're just not good enough to start for this Jags team. This Jags team's a contending team. You want to go to a rebuilding team. You want to go to a team and, you know, that whatever. That's fine. Just not good enough to start for us right now. Let's get some positivity up here, all right? We talked about Parker Washington a little bit. I'm liking Parker Washington. I really am. This was a great catch right here. Great throw and great catch, right? The DNs are getting way too involved there from Cleveland. There's your slot fade. Who called it? Who called the slot fade? That's it right there, baby. They double covered Evan Ingram. I hope y'all noticed that right here. Okay. I guess 11 catches makes double team on Evan Ingram. He's going to play inside leverage on Zay Jones, making that a hard catch. No problem. We're just going to run a slot fade from our boy Parker Washington right here. Take a look. When he made that catch, I was like, all right, we found something. We found something. We really did. Look at Ridley on that play. Oh, no. This is Ridley down here. Kind of wish you wouldn't have said anything there. Kind of wish, Sea Breacher, you wouldn't have said anything right there. We're going to move on from that. We're really going to move on from that. I feel like I hear you say that was a bad pick far too often. Yeah, Nick, you're right. Carolina will never trade us again after the CJ and Visca. They like CJ. Oh, they like Visca. No one likes CJ. Man, I wonder if we did land an edge rusher, what we would do with Trayvon. He could really replace D-Ham, but if Balky would admit his mistake, Parker Washington had insane concentration like D-Hop. Wide receiver 1. Damn, Ridley. All right, here's another one here. How about this one? This is Evan Ingram. All right, Evan Ingram's my boy now. I'm full Evan Ingram. Like, I might get a jersey. Take a look at this, Evan Ingram. I didn't circle him, but look at this. Out and up, baby. Let's go. This is all we can do. All we can do is these little fade routes. It's pathetic. When you can't run and every team plays man, that's what you got to do. Out. I'm running an out. Nope, I'm running into a vertical. Take a look here. Evan Ingram's the real deal, man. He's the absolute real freaking deal. How about this touchdown from Evan Ingram? Put Dearness Johnson in motion. Yep, there's a little fade again. A little corner out, but let's go, baby. Great throw, great accuracy from Trevor. Great catch. Yeah, we're definitely moving on from Ridley next year, says Chai Gift. Yeah, I mean, again, it depends on what you can bring him back for. I wouldn't mind bringing him back for wide receiver 2 money. I really wouldn't, man. Like, I know that play looked bad, and he's got drops and runs the wrong route. But I don't. I mean, it's hard to find receivers like him. And he's 2 years removed, and maybe I'm like trying to convince myself because I was so excited preseason. I don't know, man. Maybe you're right. Rajib says, I'm liking Washington so far. Jarrett Williams says, Sea Breacher doing the Lord's work. Sea Breacher will even play a real man's game. He's out there playing fork knife with the boys, dropping from the party bus or whatever it's called. Shay says, the offense really missed Kirk. I think that 4th down at the end of the game, they would have been this type of play all day to make. I didn't clip that play, Shay. But when I did watch it, I watched it a bunch of times. I thought about clipping it. Nobody was open. So I think you're spot on. Nobody was open. Trevor had to throw a desperation throw to the sideline, and literally nobody was open. And I couldn't figure out if it was a bad scheme, a bad play call. I couldn't figure out if the receivers you're right though. Nobody was open. 100 miles per hour says, remember last year when I said Ingram was the only one who shows up every week with 100% effort? It's still true this year. He goes on to say, the issue with Ridley is if we bring him back, we lose 2nd-round pick. This draft is so loaded. That's a good point, 100 miles per hour. That's a good point. Giants have regret letting that go. Ridley for 16 mil or Evans for 21 mil. I don't think Evans is... I think they re-sign Evans. He's too good to not bring back. Ingram, Etienne, and Trevor, the only offensive players that had any fire in them on Sunday. You're right. I do like this play. And it worked. We ran it a few times. It worked half the time. But I like this little wildcat. You guys know me. I like little gadget plays like this. And this was, like I said, in the first half, the Jags ran the ball pretty well. This was in the first half, and they blocked it up well. 2 pulling linemen got out in space, got their hands on people. Like, I'm good with this. Even Fortner gets a little bit there. I don't know what changed at halftime. I mean, a lot of times when you look at adjustments that teams make, you look at like one team that makes good adjustments and the other team that doesn't, you blame the coaches, and that's fine. I don't know what happened between the first half and the second half. Like, we were running when I was rewatching it, I was like, dang, like, we're not a bad running team. And then, like, I was like, oh, okay, that play wasn't good. That play wasn't good. And then you look at their yards per carry, it was like 2.9. So you're like, oh, we didn't do well. But something flipped at halftime. I don't know what it was, but something flipped at halftime. I don't know. Corey T says we also need cap room for Allen. That's true. Break the bank for him, man. Absolutely. I don't care, dude. The only people I care about on this team right now, seriously, is Trevor Lawrence and Josh Allen. That's all I care about. You saw how they're like prioritizing him on double teams. Great player. Give me Josh Allen all day. And again, another guy I changed my tune on. I mean, all of us at the beginning of the season, we're like, well, Josh Allen, he better show something this year if he's going to have a chance of getting re-signed. Now we're all like, re-sign this dude now. So, yeah, some players play well in their contract year, and then they get paid and they start playing like crap. You hope that doesn't happen, but you can't really like bank on that or factor that in. But you're right, man. Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence. That's all I care about. Was that Peterson Jr. getting a snap? I think he played 7 snaps. And I heard on the radio today, on the local radio, he's actually an insane golfer as well, which I appreciate. I respect the golfers. We really need a receiver that can make consistent catches or contested catches. Josh Allen has to be just sitting in his room chuckling, thinking of this contract he's about to get. Corey says, Scrooge McDuck money coming his way. He's going to be like one of the highest paid DNs in the league. Duh. I mean, he's one of the best DNs in the league, so that makes sense. Excuse me. Do I have anything else in here? Did I show the Darius Williams INT? We talked about him slipping and being out of position, so let's show a good play here. Again, though, like, great job from a pick play here. We talked all this crap about Greg Jr., and he's going to freaking inadvertently run into the receiver. Flacco's throwing, dude. Like his inability to play corner helped us get an interception right here because his man was wide open to the flat. But Flacco decides to throw the slant, which we knew he was going to do. We watched that in the pregame video there. Good job, Greg. Way to accidentally force an interception there. I love it. Oh, that's golden. You can't write that script better than that. Good job, Darius, though. Darius is a better route runner than Ridley. It's not true. Ridley is a good route runner if he runs the right route. With Allen, what you hope is the switch that flipped this offseason stays flipped. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it, Rod Jeeps. Any other good plays here? Here's the toss play that worked in the first half. We talked about the toss play being a play that the Bengals were weak on, especially if you throw it away from Myles Garrett. Great job on the toss play. Like, I was hoping to see this play a lot more. I don't know why we stopped doing it in the second half. Because like the Browns were bad at setting the edge, and they were bad at holding that sideline. So the Jags did it in the first half, they just stopped doing it. They did do it one time in the second half. They got stopped for like a -3, so maybe that's why they were like, whatever. But I don't know. Greg Jr., only positive snap. He's on the Tank Bigsby list. I have more plays in the bad folder, like Trevor's other 2 interceptions. I'll just show this one. I'm not going to show his other interceptions because I'm a little too down here. But you do have to kind of give Trevor. He's good, but like this is on Trevor right here. Okay, so this is 4th down. We need a play here. Trevor changes the call. So sometimes coaches will call in 2 plays. Sometimes they'll call in 2 plays. They'll give the quarterback like leniency to change it to the other play. Sometimes the coaches let the quarterbacks call any play they want. Audible pre-snap. Trevor clearly audibles on this play. Look, Evan Ingram doesn't know the play. Linemen are trying to get the check. Like, he's obviously changing the play here. They full blitz, and he's got no one open. So there's no way in hell Calvin Ridley heard the play call here. Evan Ingram couldn't hear the play call. He has his hands up here in a second. He doesn't know what the audible is. So maybe the adjustment was just to the offensive line. We have to be fair. Maybe it was just to the protection. He may have slid the protection. He might have saw the blitz coming and changed the protection. That's fine. But whatever he did wasn't good enough, because when the Bengals or the Browns bring everybody, no one's even looking for the ball when Trevor is getting sacked. And we saw Trevor grimace on this play because they showed it on the broadcast from the another angle. So this play hurt. But that's on Trevor, man. Whatever he did here wasn't right. Or not everyone got it. Or something. I don't know, boys. I don't know. What I do know is I'm not gonna give up on this team. We're still in first place in the AFC South. We have a very winnable schedule coming up outside of the Ravens, which I think, we're at home and on paper that should help us, although it hasn't this year. But we're okay. We're okay. 8-5 is not bad, boys. We're injured. Every team's injured. We ran into 2 buzzsaw of backup quarterbacks. It is what it is, boys. You can't. Stefanski, Taylor from the Bengals, not our Taylor, Zach Taylor. They had great game plans. They outcoached Mike Caldwell. It's going to happen in the NFL, man. Like I said, every week there's teams losing that shouldn't have lost. There's backup quarterbacks winning. That's the NFL. This is what the NFL is all about. Next man up. Next man up. That's really it. Don't get down on yourself yet. And if they lose to the Ravens, don't get down on yourself then either, because we're still okay. We may have a tie of AFC South, but then we have 3 winnable games after that. So let's not get too pessimistic. We have, if heaven forbid, if we don't make the playoffs, we have months to be pessimistic. Let's not start now. Let's not waste this time of a Jags winning season to get pessimistic and to get down on ourselves. If it all falls apart, we have plenty of time for that. We'll make the right adjustments. Let's not do it now. Let's not do it now. Let's keep our spirits up. And that's a tall task to ask of Jags fans, because the Jags community is a very pessimistic and negative community, and rightfully so. We've had decades of bad football. But your task and your challenge this week is to keep your spirits up. I'm talking to you too, Timmy. Talking to you too, Timmy Devil. Keep your spirits up. If we beat the Ravens, all is forgotten. All is forgiven. It's okay. Let's wait to worry and panic for when it's time to worry and panic. Okay? Let's be okay with this. Let's be fine here. And we'll be good. Okay, we'll be good. We're gonna have a Friday night show where we're gonna talk about what we have to do to beat the Ravens. I know that coaches know more than me. It's their full-time job, and they're paid millions of dollars to do it. But for the last 6 weeks, we've been pretty spot on these shows on what we need to do and stop to win games. Now, whether the team can't do it, or the coaches aren't seeing it, or they're not practicing enough for it, I don't know. But all the things that we knew we needed to do, we've needed to do and just haven't done, which is a lot of alphabet soup, and I'm talking in circles at this point, and because of that, I think we have to end this show right here. So I appreciate all you guys being here. I had a great time talking Jags. I know spirits aren't high right now, but take it on yourself. Even if you have to fake the positive energy. Fake the positive energy. Oh, what can it hurt? What can it hurt? So do it. Thanks to all the channel members that were here and all the commenters. 100 miles per hour, Shay, Sea Breacher, Volkfang, Corey T, Cam Boysvert, We had all kind of channel members in here today. Nick Ludwig, Sea Breacher, 100 miles per hour joined the Matt Jones level of channel member, which is awesome. I love that. Appreciate all you guys being here. Sorry, it's a little bit more of a pessimistic film breakdown. But listen, we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. Hit me up on Twitter or Instagram. I haven't checked Instagram in a while, but do it anyways. I'll catch up on it eventually. Twitter, I always am on. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Do all that stuff. We're okay. We're okay. We're going to take a deep breath, and we're going to be fine. We're going to beat the Ravens. I'm going to be there on Sunday night. If you're going Sunday night, hit me up. We can meet up for a beer or something like that. I'm going to be tailgating real early on Sunday. I'm thinking about getting in there around 3 or so. So hit me up. I go to Toontown, which is a nice tailgate area. It's kind of by the slab, if you're familiar with the area. Hit me up on Twitter if you're going to go down there. I'd love to hang out for a second and drink a beer or something like that and talk Jags. I appreciate all you guys being here. Seriously, it means a lot to me. I might jump on Twitch after this, so if you want to do that, you can. But until next time, as always, go Jags.
Up for 40 odd something hours. The sweat on my back's got my shirt soaked and sour. It's already gone. Second night's coming and I'm spinning back around. We're all caught up, can't hear or feel a sound. It's already gone. And here comes the feeling when you don't got nothing and all you want to do is get up and start running. You can't hide long cause you know it's gonna start up again. Here's one thing that I know for certain, this life's too short to be worrying about you hurting for long. Oh, it's already gone. Got time but money's not something that's free. Seems the roll of the dice never rolls back to me. And oh, it's already gone. A bird in my hand, two cans in the other, start spinning around. Now here comes the